recently I was able to increase my weight again. So I was lifting like a whole 2.2 kilos on a weekend. Yeah, I know, it's tiny, isn't it? It's like, it's so small. But that's what got me started again. And I realized now all the mistakes I've made in the last, I don't know, like 8 years. Like constantly pushing, constantly making it more difficult than it needs to be. And then I also realized recently how I was able to just increase the weight by about 1.1 kilos, I think it was. And I was like, what happened to like make that happen? And I was like, you got really, really bored. That's what happened. It wasn't like, right, I know I can lift more, so I should. There was no like preconceived expectations placed on me. I didn't do that to myself. What happened was I was just like, every morning, consistently, constantly, every morning, because it was so easy. I really like exercising every day. But because I like exercising every day, I've got to make it really, really easy because I don't really like taking time off. And I've realized like that means I'll never ever be bulky. So like I'm also happy about that. And I was like, you made it so, so easy that you got bored. And I think I was bored for about 3 weeks. I kept like finishing the workout and being like, now what? I'm bored. And I was just sat there like drinking my cup of green tea. And I was like, I think I'm gonna have a coffee as well. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And it's been really nice having coffee like after my green tea for the last 3 weeks. But then I go out for my walk because that's another thing I've started to like get into my routine more regularly is going out for my walk like really consistently in the morning. And I'm just like, okay, I need to head back now because like the coffee is making its way through. It's like I don't need this right now. I just want to go for the walk. And I was like, maybe rather than the coffee, maybe you could increase the amount that you lift. And I was like, in the past, that's caused me heart palpitations. Anyway, apparently getting really, 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 really bored changes things. I don't know what's going on hormonally with like the feeling of boredom. There must be like hormones involved, I'm guessing. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh, right, yeah, okay, I can do it. And I just added the 1 kilo of weight, and it didn't really feel like much of an effort, I've got to be honest. I just done the exact same amount of reps. And I've been doing that every day now for probably about a week. And today I was like, let's see if you could do 40. And that's when I realized I was like 30 is like your nice steady state. I was like, you're trying to push again, don't do that. So I said to myself, I was like, no, I was like, just do 30 and do 30 every single day. And then in 3-4 months' time, if you want to increase the weight, you can. I was like, I don't think necessarily increasing the reps is a great idea. I was like, I think you're quite happy with this. Like, it is a little routine. I literally do like 30, is it reverse butterfly for my back, where like you're kind of like a little bent legs, and then like you bring your torso over in straight line, and then you open like that. Like, I do that like for 30. And then I do like biceps, and then like tricep kickbacks, and then 30 squats. And it's not exactly like the most like hardcore, intense routine ever, but it's something that I've been able to go to literally every single morning. And I know that weight training is non-negotiable. Like, it doesn't matter like how little the weights are. Like, they're non-negotiable. Like, I need to do something. And all of a sudden I can increase the weight, and I'm like, okay. And my clothes feel better on me. And I'm like, I can see that I'm just like not bulky. And I'm like, I don't think you're gonna be bulky because you're like exercising every day. And from what I've heard and read and stuff, you need to be like working out like the heavier end of like lifting, but also taking breaks to like recover. And I don't really like that part. That sounds so silly, but I just don't. I just like a little routine. And I don't think I'm ever really gonna be lifting like crazy heavy, mainly because like I'm just not interested in like doing it really. I'd rather just like slowly, incrementally increase and just there's gotta be like a ceiling to it, you know, for someone who's like not even 5'6". I'm like 5'5" and whole 3/4. I didn't even make the 5'6" club. And I'm just like looking at my frame, I don't have like a broad frame. I don't have like broad cheekbones. I don't have like broad forehead or a broad nose. And I'm just like, your frame is probably like maybe like small to medium. Like I'm like, okay, well, like, I don't think like aiming for like the big chunky weights is a good idea because I don't think you're designed to lift them. But still, you do need to lift something. So anyway, I thought I'd just give you some feedback on that because for a really long time I was just like, I can't lift heavier. Every time I try and lift heavier, like I started getting heart palpitations, and the heart palpitations have just gone now. Like I get them very, very occasionally, but I've not noticed them when I'm lifting. So that's a positive turnaround for me. And I do think it came from making it super, super easy. Like just I can just do it, and then I got bored, and I don't know what the boredom is, but the boredom definitely helped. So if I was going to give like advice to anyone, is to just like get really, 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 really bored first before you make any changes. Because for me, that was like what helped. I don't know how it helped, but anyway, that's me. Bye.